The American dream, but at what cost? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Many are starting to say what we tried to have, what we want to have, is absolutely impossible in today's day and age. I know so many people that are struggling, other individuals that are living in major cities that cannot make ends meet, and we are being told, don't worry. Help is coming, help is on the way. But of course, it doesn't. Taxation rises, prices of everything rise, and meanwhile, we are just trying to stay afloat. In today's video, I'm going to show you several examples of what's going on. Hopefully, I can give some tips along the way for people to ease the burden. But you got to understand, we got to pay attention to all this stuff. I'm going to bring it to you, and you could see it for yourself. Starting with this, it was an interview, an interesting one, and the woman said something like, it's the American dream, but at what cost? And they have, relatively standard lifestyle. There's nothing extravagant. She's saying, we can't go on vacation. We can't do all these other things. So we consider ourselves kind of middle class, but she's saying, I think it's more like lower middle class because we really can't do the things that we want to. And they were totaling up how much money they had left over, and they had like only a few $100s left. I mean, these are the things today that we didn't have just a few years ago. It has gotten much worse. The situation it's like a compression that's taking place. Hot oil summer, soaring prices threaten consumers. Of course, they're making this political, but we are seeing it in the gasoline, the energy, and so on. I'll show you several examples. Risk of a 1987 style meltdown sparks Ruffer's record cash bet. All I'm trying to show you here is that there's all these different things piling up, and some investors right now, they're basically hoarding cash. They're saying, you know what? I'm just too much. It's like a powder keg. This thing's about to blow up. And so that's what I worry about. There's just a lot of things. It's election. They are talking about now increasing interest rates, or at least some individuals are suggesting that. And, things are very different than what they were, let's say, a year ago. Power bills will keep rising even after the Fed tames inflation as utilities shell out to fortify, decarbonize, and expand their grids. U.S. taxpayers are footing the bill. You must understand that the prices you pay today will seem like the good old days. Are you ready for that? Are you prepared for that? I know a lot of people that are not. And I'm not trying to, put this on you and be the bearer of bad news, but we got to pay attention and we got to get to the next level. My cover is up 400%. Meet the Americans on the front line of the country's home insurance crisis. So you can see that people pay more than ever before for insurance, for electricity and everything else. It's the property taxes that are rising. It's the repair costs that are rising. Services, goods, they're all going up. They're all going up everywhere you turn. This is the CPI for electricity, and you could see that it is, as they say, zooming. It's going crazy. Talking about the prices, relating to 1970s and so on. We don't know where it's going to end. We don't know. But I can tell you right now that people are unprepared. People are struggling as it is, and imagine the situation gets worse. Look, I got 1,000 to show you today. How it started, how it's going, energy prices soar. Again, they're making it political. It has nothing to do with that. When you devalue a currency, you're going to make it worse. You're going to make it worse. It doesn't matter if it's over a 4-year period, an 8-year period, a 10-year period. You pick the time, and it just gets worse. Okay? You can suggest, oh, well, if we get this guy in or that guy in for the next 4 years, we're good. Okay, what about after that? What about 20 years? You find me a 20-year period where things got better. They are very few and far between, let me tell you. There was one example of, like, if you wanted to use after World War II, things were growing, things were better. That's a different situation. All the gold is coming in, all the production's getting restarted. There's a bunch of people having babies, things are getting going. Okay, and after a period of, inactivity or, wartime prep and all that stuff, and then you go into like a real economy, well, that's a whole different story, right? Prices of things were cheaper back then. I mean, there's all kinds of things in relation to income, of course. Why car insurance costs are skyrocketing and leading to higher inflation. Car vehicle prices have risen quite a bit. In fact, you see this, but we're getting this all the time where, oh, let us buy your car back. Let us buy your car back. Because like the things are going, by the time, these companies, they're selling them to you and then they go up after, it is a massive level of inflation all over the place. Isn't it weird? It's so strange. It's so strange now. This is one perfect example. U.S. Postal Service proposes raising stamp prices again. Stamps, my friends. I said stamps. Yes, not the stamp collection you once heard about or knew somebody that had, or maybe even had yourself. But people are still buying those stamps. It's still happening. Snail mail still exists. The only snail mail I receive is nonsense. In the mail, 99% of it is just flyers and garbage. So, but apparently they're increasing the prices. Okay, we got to get with the times. Everything is increasing though. And Ryan Reynolds asked the question, but why? But why? Do you remember this movie? All right, look at what's going on here. We're seeing the devaluation. And what is the response to that devaluation? Well, central banks, they're going away from the US dollar. This is what this is. So we're seeing the gold price go higher. Central banks are purchasing gold, a lot of it. And if you look at the charts that compare China's US treasuries or US debt to China's gold, we could see a direct relationship between that. Since 2013, 2014 timeframe, they have been slowly but surely, if you look at like the trend line, they've been getting rid of their US debt, and instead they've been purchasing more gold. And that's going to take a long time because they got a lot of it. But the trend is clearly there. Other central banks are doing that too. It's not a matter of like, we're going to punish the US. No, they are being sanctioned. They want to do business in other currencies. The US owns and controls all that stuff. So they're just saying, okay, slowly but surely we're going in this direction. We see the writing on the wall. Central bank gold purchases, gold prices, of course, you can see that over time. Certainly been going up. Gold boosted to new records as China beefs up their reserves. Just looking at that over the last few years. At the same time, you could see that gold is up about 20% over the last 5 months, doubled the S&P 500's return. Bonds are down nearly 9%. There's a 30% gap between the performance of gold and bonds. So something really crazy is going on right now with gold. What's going on? People are starting to ask that question. So what can we do as individuals? Of course, there are simple, basic things. You got to be buying in bulk. You got to understand how to buy food in bulk. You got to prepare things on your own anytime you can. You got to do things like a simple matter of fact. If you go to some of these discount places, you get the hot peppers, you make the hot pepper sauce at home, you will get probably 4 to 5 times more quantity for the same price. Okay, that's just one simple example, something I did recently. If you like hot peppers, you can get the things, from when you buy in bulk, you can get directly from suppliers. You can go out there and get things at a much cheaper price. You can buy by the case. You can go to, you can go to the Costco's and things like that, but you can also reach out to the distributors. You can look at, where I talked about this before, the food terminals. So you go to food terminals in your city. You could find these things. You got to buy by the case. So that means, hey, I can't have this whole case. What am I going to do? You go to your neighbors. You go to your people in your community and you say, look, I'm going to go here every week. You want to split this 4 ways? We got, split it 4 ways. We're going to get some cheaper prices. There's also, like, depending on where you live, Amish or Mennonites, they have their farms. A lot of times they're a lot cheaper. Okay. You go to the farmer, we want this much food. We're going to split it between these few people. You do all your splits. It's cheaper. You've got to take action on this. There's very important things. If it's cold winter, you've got to learn how to seal your windows and doors. You've got to do these things because that's just literally money that could have been saved. Easy things. And of course, you've got to increase your income as best you can. I know, easier said than done. But I talk about that on the Sunday live sessions. Of course, I got free information too. If you go to my playlists on YouTube, you will see lots of free information. If you want to know more about the Sunday live, where we work on building online businesses, as of this recording right here, we just had our Sunday live, and I'm teaching people day by day how to do this, getting them every step of the way. I hope that you will join me on there. I'm getting taught from some of the best in the world, and then I bring that to you guys at a very, very, very affordable price. So I hope that you'll join me on there. Link in the description. If you appreciate this information, hit that thumbs up button. Who else is actually giving solutions out there? Come on. I want you to thank me for that by just hitting that thumbs up button. That's all I ask. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.